Wondering what life is really like on Canada's wild and crazy West Coast? This podcast is all about the people, the places, and Vancouver Island time. Together, we'll explore this island paradise, a combination of ocean, city, and country living. We'll meet the fabulous locals such as the Fudge Fairy and the Chicken Lady, who have chosen Victoria and Vancouver Island as their home. And we'll learn what makes this place unique and special to those who live here. And now, your host of Vancouver Island Time, Jane Johnston.
Hi, everybody. It's Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun and host of Vancouver Island Time. I'm here this week with the fabulous Lisa Tinney. Lisa Tinney owns EasyJobQuote.com, and she also lives in the View Royal area, so we're going to talk about that. View Royal is a shoulder district. It's between downtown Victoria and what's called the West Shore, and it's a kind of one of those areas that people overlook, I think. So tell me, what made you choose to live here as opposed to elsewhere? Where else were you looking and how long have you been here?
I have lived in Victoria for most of my life in various areas. I have grown up in Saanich, lived in Cordova Bay, and have lived in many other municipalities. View Royal offers a beautiful lifestyle, very, very almost rural setting, and that's what really attracted us.
And when did you move here?
We moved to View Royal in 2003.
And so tell me a bit about View Royal itself. You have some interesting facts.
Well, View Royal, it is quite interesting. It is one of the oldest communities on Vancouver Island. The original farm, Craigflower Farm, was developed by the Hudson Bay Company in the 1850s.
I didn't connect the two, so that's why there's the Craigflower sort of creek behind you.
Yes, Craigflower Creek is right behind my home, and it is one of the major waterways that connects into all of the water systems that are in View Royal, which is why it was such an important area to be developed so early. But it didn't become a town until 1988.
Okay, so where is the Craigflower Farm? Is that not at Admiral's Road area?
It is right at the junction of Saanich, Esquimalt, and View Royal. So it sort of sits across the borders, but it was the original farmstead for this place. The schoolhouse and the manor still stand, and they're a National Heritage Site.
Yeah, so they're right on, right where the bridge crosses, so I can see the attraction there. So the farm extended this far back.
The farm was actually a very large community it developed into. They had a flour mill and a sawmill and a blacksmith shop and the school. The oldest schoolhouse apparently in Western Canada still stands there.
And it has a lovely 4 Mile pub.
The 4 Mile pub and the 6 Mile pub are two of the only restaurants in the View Royal area, and they are also two of the oldest restaurants on Vancouver Island. So they were original post stops.
So yeah, and they're respectively 4 and 6 miles away from downtown Victoria.
Yes, and they are the major water holes, shall we call them, for the area. Some of the best dining in the area in the View Royal municipality. So
what's the sort of one other fact, I guess, that people wouldn't think about View Royal? So I find it, being a shoulder district, that means that when people are coming to the city, they either look downtown or they look West Shore. To me, this is kind of perfectly situated. It's kind of at the, I would say, literally the junction between downtown Victoria and West Shore.
Downtown Victoria and West Shore, or up Island, or out to Sydney. We are at the crossroads of them all. I can get anywhere in about anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the time of day and traffic.
So speaking of traffic, which is a big deal here, because I come down, I live just west of here in Metchosin, and there is literally a crawl. They call it the Colwood Crawl, but really it's the View Royal Crawl. It's right at the junction of the Old Island Highway and the New Highway and Souk Road. And that's because geographically people can't get around there. What do you think the new interchange at Mackenzie's going to do for property prices out here?
I think the new interchange is going to help traffic. I think it is going to open up the area. I think that the things will change as time goes forward, and I think eventually there will be a transit system into town, at which point we're also going to be the convergence of all of those lines. So it's going to be a very, very key position going forward. I think that the property values will hold and do very well over time.
I actually think they're going to go up because in my mind, just it's the issue right now with the lack of accessibility to easy transportation. So they're putting in HOV lanes, which start in Saanich. They're not yet out here. And also the rail. And when that comes, it has to come. Don't you agree?
It absolutely has to come, and it will. It will take time, but it will be here.
So I grew up in Toronto, and I find like we're about 40 years behind there.
Yes, about 40. And about, at this point, I think about 20 behind what the actual volumes require. But that will be addressed quickly.
So you mentioned a few places to eat. So we have the 4 Mile and 6 Mile. There's also right at the corner of Helmkin, a new development there.
There is a new development right across from the hospital, which is also relatively new in the city. There are grocery stores, liquor stores, pharmacies, all the usual, the Tim Hortons, the Starbucks, any of those companies. So the area is developing. One of the mottos of the municipality is to remain green and sustainable. So we have over 70 parks in this small municipality. It's only about 14.5 kilometers square, but we've got like 70 parks, so that's very green.
Yeah, well, when you go to Ovu Rural, which again I think is overlooked, it's totally beautiful. It's on a sloping hill from the Old Island Highway down to the water. There are some parks in there that go over to Admirals, so you can go to Thrifties, right?
You can go to Thrifties right outside the municipal lines in Esquimalt. Yeah, that's one of the interesting things about View Royal is that we don't necessarily have a lot of let's say, the major grocery stores or the facilities like community centers or rec centers, but literally you cross over into one of the next municipalities right across the border. There will be a major store available or a major rec center, any direction.
Right, so close to here you have the West Shore Rec Center, which if you belong to the municipalities of Metchosin, Colwood, and Langford, is View Royal a part of that?
View Royal is a part of a lot of the systems, yes. So we're able to use the Wanderfuca Rec Centers, the West Shore Rec Centers, the Commonwealth Rec Center, which is just in Saanich. We have access to all of them.
And also the library system out here.
Library system as well. And the rec center just inside of Colwood has the Wanderfuca Library right there. So that's all. I use that a great deal.
When you were looking for accommodation, and so first of all, I have to tell you, I walked up to this house and I was underwhelmed by the outside of it, and when I walked in I was overwhelmed. So it's totally beautiful. Was that a factor in you choosing this location?
We were interested in the location because of the lifestyle you can have here, all of the hiking trails. There's the Galloping Goose cycling trail that my husband used to commute to go into work every day. And we walked up to the house and it was just like, oh, yes, okay. When we opened the door and we were like, whoa, I never expected that. And as a singing teacher, this open space that we're sitting in here was the perfect studio, and we signed that night.
Really intriguing. It's about 2.5 stories tall. So tell me what's in behind here.
In behind us is Craigflower Creek, and it is a protected salmon spawning heritage site. So there will be no development behind here. We have access to the creek. We watch the salmon spawn in the fall. We have otters and eagles and beaver and deer all walking through the park behind us. So it is just this beautiful natural setting. Just love it.
So, and also, I've had a listing or two around the corner from here. It's an awesome place for Halloween, right?
Yes. Yeah, so a very active neighborhood just around the corner. So the kids come from all over the place, and there's lots of costumes and little ghouls and goblins and witches and Yeti knights and all the rest of it everywhere. It's fun to live here. It's a very child-friendly neighborhood with the parks. It's also a very golf-friendly neighborhood with the golf course right up the hill behind, and they throw functions themselves. So yeah.
And what's the name of that golf club?
That is the Highland Pacific Golf Course.
Right, and I'm told it is a good golf course.
It is a good golf course. It's a challenging course in the continual height change. My friend once described it as a good golf course for goats to play on because mountain goats because of the terrain. But it's a sweet little course.
Yeah, and so in terms of the West Shore, do you access anything around our neighboring communities for like the Royal Colwood Golf Course or?
The Royal Colwood Golf Course, I sing at quite frequently. As a singer, I perform there for some of their functions. I have known many people who have golfed there. And in fact, the inroad to the Royal Colwood Golf Course is named after one of my second cousins.
Really?
Yes, Eileen Anderson.
Oh, so how long have you been an islander, or your family?
My family has been an islander. We've been islanders since I was a babe. We come from the island.
Right. I mean, like, how long has your family been living on Vancouver Island?
Probably since probably 1960 was when we came to the island once and for all.
So it's very unusual here to find people who are from the island. Tamara Knott is another one who... Do you know Tamara?
Yes, I do.
Excellent greens if you want some. She's in an earlier episode. I also find... Really, do you find the demographics have changed in the last 15 years here?
Victoria has changed a great deal since I was a girl. They used to call it the newlyweds, nearly deads, and that is not the case anymore. It is a much, much more complete demographic mix over the last few years. This neighborhood shows that. Just View Royal has we are about 1% lower in age demographic than the rest of the Greater Victoria area, so lots of families.
Well, you look fabulous.
Why, thank you. As do you.
I did find when I moved here from Toronto in 99 that like the kind of cars that were here were older and kind of decrepit and spewing gas. And I'm finding that changes. I know you come from the banking industry. Do you find that people just tend to be wealthier than they were 20 years ago? Is that my perception or is it reality?
I do believe that just the nature of Victoria, the wealth demographic has increased over the years. When I was here as a girl, we all had those little island sports car picnic cars, I called them, all the old sports cars and everything. Yeah, it was a good time then. But yeah, the cars are newer now.
I also find like if you want to buy a car in Victoria, you want to make sure that you're buying something that's from the island because we don't get salt here.
We don't get as much salt as most of the other communities. You're absolutely right, but because of that, we're also very particular about it and wash our undercarriages regularly.
So what about traveling on the island? Do you go anywhere else to have fun?
I have been exploring the island all of my life. My family has been in Port Alberni. They have been up island communities outside of Campbell River. So I have hiked the hikes and walked the beaches and enjoyed the lifestyle of the island my whole life.
What's your favorite place outside of Victoria?
That is a tough question. There are so many favorites. I love the beaches out on the west coast, China Beach, French Beach, any of those areas out there. I also find Qualicum and Parksville to be beautiful, beautiful areas as well.
I was surprised by how long the beaches were and how far out they go. So the water does warm up quite a bit.
The water on the inside of the island on the east coast is much warmer because we do have a very, very different topography there, a much longer, sandier beaches. All very the tide goes way out and you can walk and dig clams and hike on the beaches a great deal. The west coast of the island is a much rockier, rougher terrain. Also beautiful.
Yeah, also beautiful and a little foggier too.
It's a little foggier.
Okay, and then where do you go for grocery shopping and stuff around here?
Grocery shopping, the local market up by Hamilton by the hospital is an island-owned operation called Quality Foods, and we shop there quite regularly. There are also all of the red barn markets and the big barn markets and the root cellar markets where I do like to go and get local produce. I also do drive the peninsula regularly and stop in at the farms and collect the fruits and vegetables right directly from the farmers, which is part of the lifestyle I really enjoy here.
Yeah, me too. It surprised me as well, the variety that we can get here. So some people grow bananas here, right?
Bananas, kiwi fruits, pineapples, and oh, those eggs, the island eggs, delicious.
Well, we're going to be interviewing the chicken lady soon, so stay tuned.
Excellent. Okay.
Okay, so if you're interested in knowing more about the View Royal area, I'm Jade Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun. But stay tuned because we're going to come back. Lisa has a company that's really cool. It's called easyjobquote.com. She's going to tell us all about it and how you can use her company to go with your renovations.
Vancouver Island Time is brought to you by the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun, Victoria, where we bring local expertise and global presence to your property.
I'm Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun and host of Vancouver Island Time. And we're back with Lisa Tinney. So you own a company called easyjobquote.com.
Yes, I do. We launched the company in 2013, so we're almost 6 years old now.
Wow, time flies. Holy smokes.
And it's been fun, right?
Okay, so let's talk about how you got there. She has an interesting life story. And this is actually probably a lesson to people who are about to go to university and career and how, you plan things. Same thing with me. I have a degree in biology and phys ed. And here I am working as a realtor. But you've really followed your passions in life. So the first major job that you had was in banking. And how did that come about and how did that shape your life?
I had originally wanted to take the years between high school and university as just a time to sort of take a change, earn some money, get myself sorted out, and then go back to university. And in that time, the bank hired me, and I started my banking career. The hours were very flexible. The management was very open to my lifestyle choices at the time, which meant that I was able to work part-time for the bank while I went to university. I did my bachelor's degree in Edmonton in music, and I worked for the bank the whole time. And all of a sudden, I discovered I was at the end of a 36-year banking career, while singing at the same time. So,
what sort of singing do you do?
I'm classically trained, so I have sung a lot of operetta. I do musical theater as well, and I have always taught a wide variety of singing styles. I have students who do R&B, rock and roll, country, folk. I mean all styles. So I'm open to all singing varieties, and I am branching out to trying a few other options myself in these retirement years.
Is it hard to go from being classically trained to other genres?
It isn't so much difficult as it's truly understanding the different vocal needs that come about from the different styles and just adapting your instrument and your technique and really listening to the idiomatic differences between them so that you're stylistically appropriate.
So when I met you, probably in 2013, actually, you were working at the bank and just getting into Easy Job Quote. How did that come about?
Easy Job Quote came about rather interesting. We had purchased this home and we had done some renovations in the home. The renovations went everything from absolutely brilliant, I wanted to sing the praises of the contractors to the sky, to one where we needed to call in a lawyer. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that combined with my banking career, where I worked with small business and I was working with a lot of the trades, we saw how much challenge there was on both sides of the coin, the homeowners and the trade sides, to really get a good relationship going. And with all of the programs that told all the horror stories, we thought this would be a way of providing a very positive solution to the frustrations on both sides.
And so what's the premise of it?
The premise of Easy Job Quote is, I like to call it so much more than a handshake, which means we want to help the homeowner and the contractor get to the point of the handshake with the contract. So we provide a service where we actually do all of the due diligence work on all of the tradespeople who come to us. So we've done all the work that the homeowner should do prior to hiring someone. We do the home visit, so it's only one set of boots that goes into the homeowner's property. We have employees who are, in our case, in Victoria, a retiring general contractor. So he has all of the knowledge, a lifetime of experience, and no longer wants to climb the ladders, swing the hammers, or be on the tools anymore. So he's able to go into the homes and do a very thorough assessment of the work. We take photographs, we take measurements, and then we present the job and present it to our members, just as a company's estimator would do.
Oh, so you're RFPing it.
Basically, yes. So we present the contract in the form of what we call a tender, and this means that the tradespeople are able to come online to our website at a time that really works well for them, view the job, see all of the particulars about the job, and then place bids on that.
How many people do you have going through your site?
Going through the site, we've got over 50 members for contractor members. We've signed on over 50. We have done, I think we're on about 200, number 200 in terms of our tenders, and we have people visiting our site all the time. We get calls from Australia asking if we're there yet. So it's quite interesting just how much this resonates with both sides.
Well, I do find like being on the other side of the coin. So I'm the person who recommends people, right? There is a lot, especially if you're new to the city, which this crowd will be, is you're looking for a way to find somebody reliable. And so do they have a way of reviewing the people who are doing the work?
When a job completes through our process, we do ask the homeowners to come back and do a review. We could sort of think of ourselves as something like a marriage broker, trip advisor, in terms of allowing the homeowner the opportunity to speak to the experience. It's also a chance for the tradespeople to truly understand what aspects of a job are important to homeowners. Things like promptness and cleanliness are two of the factors we ask for reviews on. So that's part of it.
And within budget?
Within budget, that's all part of it. Professional behaviors, that sort of thing. Likelihood to recommend is all part of our review process. We wanted to give the homeowner a voice in the hiring of a trade person and the experience they had. We also want to be able to really share the good work that is being done. There are so many truly excellent craftspeople out there doing really good work, and we wanted to make sure that was recognized.
So has it gone over well? And how has it gone for your first 200 jobs?
First 200 jobs, it has been a very interesting learning curve for everybody, as I think any new business concept is. But we've got some customers who are just over the moon with how well it's gone. It's ideal for somebody, especially for your clients who would be perhaps new to the area and don't know where to begin looking for a contractor. So people who don't know the local tradespeople, or people who are very busy and don't have the time to do all of that work, that's very much a part of what we can assist with. One of the other factors is when our employee comes to the home to do the home visit, it's a chance for the homeowner to have a really comfortable, neutral conversation and really discuss the job without worrying about being upsold or tipping their hand for a project. So it's a really very effective way to have a very comfortable conversation and truly get to know what their project might look like.
And so he helps them determine the scope, and then at the end, does he come back at all?
We will offer the ability to come back and have a look at a job if there's any question. We also ask to come back to take any photographs so that we can do the before and afters and really showcase some of this work.
So who is your ideal client?
My ideal client is someone with a renovation that they want to undertake, and they do not have the time or the inclination or the ability to do all of the due diligence work and to do the hiring. That is our ideal client.
And what's the average spend on renos? Like, is it from small bathroom jobs or to big kitchen jobs, or
It is small bathroom jobs. We've done several small bathroom jobs. We've done a couple of kitchens. Yes, we've done some roofs. So it's Well, what I basically say, in order to qualify for our service and to use our service, it makes sense that your job is at least a day's worth of work and approximately $1,000 minimum in terms of the scope of the job. And anything other than that would be a handyman, and we can help with that too.
Yeah, well, you're not handyman.com. You're easyjobquote.com.
That market is cornered.
So, I'm just wondering, are you getting more women than men in this type of request? Because I will tell you, I took my car in to a dealership that I shall not mention, and I did find the tech guy, to be a bit condescending, and I think it's because I was a woman.
We thought when we started out that our ideal client was going to be someone just like myself, basically the woman of the household wanting to have the work done and not necessarily sure about doing all of the interviews with the contractors themselves. But as it has turned out, most of the clients that I have been dealing with have been the men.
Really? Why?
I don't understand. I couldn't give you an answer on that, but we probably deal with about 70% men at this point.
Do you find people are very handy, or are you fixing up some work that other people have tried and they just decided, okay, that's it, I need to call in for help?
We have had a few of those, but mostly it is people wanting to start a new project that we have been dealing with. We are able to go in after the fact, but most of our jobs have been, the starts and the beginning of the process.
I think that's a good idea, because then they just come in, it's clear slate.
Yes, it is. One of the things I like, I'm sure you'll be showing our logo on the program, and with the logo, for me, what that logo speaks to is we help put the two pieces of the puzzle together. It is also represents, if you like, the balance of the yin and the yang of the both sides. It is a door opening to the possibilities of your dream home. It is also a handshake closing. So we want to embrace the whole experience, and we want to help you at the beginning, and we want to help you celebrate at the end.
So, okay, people are going to ask how they pay for your services.
The service, we do charge a home visit fee. At this time, it's $149 plus the taxes, but that basically covers as the bare minimum of our travel and our time to put together the tender and present it, which in turn helps the contractors, because we've ensured that what we are dealing with is a job that is committed and ready to go.
Okay. How do people finance these things?
People will finance these renovations depending on the nature of the renovations. Sometimes the smaller jobs are just done through cash, lines of credit, whatever. But we also do recommend that before you do undertake a major job, that you do talk with your banker and your insurance company about what the impacts are going to be, and that you are financed ready to go ahead of time.
Yeah, and you should be letting your insurance company know that you have somebody on the job. Do you make sure that they're covered by workers' compensation?
This is one of the things we do with our due diligence. The process when I meet with a contractor is we do have an interview. We discuss with them what sort of liability insurance they hold themselves. We keep track of their WorkSafe accounts. We also collect any other documentation they might like to share that would differentiate their company from some of the others. For example, green awards, are they green certified? Any recognition they have?
Like Red Seal?
Yeah, any Red Seal is a particular one. So we're always making sure that we give our homeowner clients the full picture of just what this contractor is bringing to the job.
Cool. And are the reviews of the contractors on your site?
The reviews of the contractors are available when you are selecting your choosing from your bids. So we're not a list where you would just go in and look. What you would see is if someone has bid on your job, say you've got 3 bids, you can go in and have a look at past reviews and see which one best fits your needs.
What's the timeline between submitting a request to you and getting a contractor in the house?
Probably the quickest would be about 1 week plus 1 day, which would be Our process, we post our jobs on a Monday at dawn, and we close them on the Sunday, and that allows everyone in our team listing to have the chance to review the bid and put a bid in. When it closes on Sunday night, the bids are then opened to the homeowner, and they can choose. And if they choose the contractor the next day and the contract goes out and the contractor says, I'll be there tomorrow, then you're looking at 1 week plus a day. Generally, we find, as with any deal, anytime, if you were doing the contract yourself and doing all the arrangements yourself, it's going to take several weeks before you actually have someone in the house doing the work.
Yeah. Well, and also, if it's going to be well planned and well considered, then you're going to want to take the time, because what are the three things? Good, fast, and accurate. So you want all of those. You're going to have to wait, right?
Yes, absolutely. We also help coach our homeowners. For example, if it might be best to do a permit before we open the contract up for bid, we have people who will help us prepare the permits and get everything set and ready to go. So we've sort of developed and built the business out a fair bit from our first launch, and it's really nice to see ways that we are able to help. Something as simple as, well, have the asbestos testing done before we put the bid out. That way we know you're going to pay for it eventually. So you might as well know what you're dealing with when we put the bid out.
Right. And I just want to say, as a realtor, that if you do not disclose that you have done a renovation without a permit, it is considered a latent defect.
It is absolutely considered a latent defect. You don't have any of the protections of the system if you haven't gone through the proper channels, and that is what we do encourage our clients to understand.
Okay, so if you want more information about Easy Job Quote, how do they get in touch with you?
www.easyjobquote.com, or our phone number 250-590-8182.
All right. So, and if you want more information about the View Royal area, please contact me. I'm Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Comoson. Thanks so much, Lisa. And have a great day. We'll chat with you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank
you. Welcome to the neighborhood. We hope you have had some insight into West Coast living. If you know of someone or someplace that should be highlighted in our podcast, we'd love to hear from you. Please go to VancouverIslandTime.com and click on our Connect button. See you next week on Vancouver Island Time with Jane Johnston.